we have a 30-minute scene of Jasen Statham just like buying meth. Like it was like 30 minutes long of him just acquiring meth, and for 20 minutes of it I'm like wondering like, wait, isn't this about human trafficking? What is he even doing right now?
Initiating weekly entertainment brought to you by Extra Rad. Boys Meet Film will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy.
Welcome to Boys Meet Film. My name's Michael, and these are my boys,
Max,
Sean,
Will.
And today we're going to be talking about a special little film called A Working Man. All right.
What? This film was special.
I've been waiting for this movie
Yeah?
for a very long time.
how long? Tell him.
Probably like 3 weeks, or ever since we saw the sign in the Regal Theater,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Oh, yeah. It was
that
like,
said,
human traffickers beware.
yeah, such a great tagline.
Good
Was that the
tagline.
That's the tagline on the poster. Human
That's
traffickers
so awesome.
beware.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep it nice and short for the intro.
I couldn't get a read on this film.
And we're just gonna like go straight into spoilers in a few minutes. So do you guys have anything you want to say before then?
Well, I mean, if you really like Jasen Statham, you'll probably like this movie.
Yeah.
I
Like
agree.
that lady who stood up and was like, I love Jasen Statham. I wish I had a guy like that in my life to protect me. I'm like, this whole movie.
But she had like this. She had like the smallest dog.
Yeah, I know. She's like, I love that film, and then you see a little dog get picked up.
The whole
she-
movie?
yeah. No, go for it.
I was wondering, who is this made for? And she answered my question at the end of the
No,
movie.
she stood up, turned around, and she's like, "Don't you love him?"
What's funny is that this is twice in a row now that unsolicited, we've had people in front of us at the end of the movie stand up, turn around, and say something wild.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think also we just laugh so much during the movie. We were the only people laughing.
It's so tough not to laugh.
I felt really disrespectful during this movie.
I
But
was
then the lady in front of us was like, her phone went off, and then
Yeah,
her brightness is all the way
She was
up.
talking during it.
Yeah.
Like that guy with the fedora when he came on screen. She was like, he's a bad guy.
You can tell because his costume design.
when they said you're gonna have supervised custody, she was like, "Oh no!"
yeah. That was hilarious.
Dude, that was so good. She was so like invested in the story at that point. It was so funny.
Really wants that father-daughter relationship to work out.
Oh man, yeah. that was great.
another father-daughter relationship film.
Oh yeah, we're just getting a great mix of those this year.
Oh, I can't wait to get into spoilers on that. But
How many father-daughter movies have we seen this year? We have Wolfman,
Yeah.
Death by a Unicorn. I'm still gonna go with
we're
that
just keeping
title.
it as that?
Okay,
That's
got
still
it.
my preferred title.
Working
Working Man. Anything else? Is this the
No.
trilogy?
This is the trilogy. This is quite the trifecta.
The father-daughter trilogy
Yeah.
of
Wow.
2025.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's some fun action in here. There's some
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
Does it redeem the movie? Nah, I don't know.
I mean, I'll say
I
this.
don't know.
I enjoy this film a whole heck of a lot more than Death by a Unicorn.
Yeah.
No way.
Way more.
There's
so
no
much
shot.
more. Dude,
Okay,
Are you
why?
serious?
Why though? Because
because it's not taking itself seriously in any way.
that's true.
It is
They leaned into everything.
purely having
Yeah.
fun, and like in comparison to Death of a Unicorn, I'll say the real title. The action sequences in this are awesome.
Yeah.
Like they're just so fun. Some of them are cheesy and they're ridiculous, but like I had a fun time. Death of a Unicorn, it's just like boom, it happened. We're on to the next scene. No, like I don't know. That's how I felt. Yeah, so I had so
That's a
much
take.
fun with this movie. Yeah, it is.
That's a
It is a take. And I just want to add, I have been editing the Death of a Unicorn podcast, and I'm so upset about that one. I'm so upset that you guys like the movie. I can't trust you guys anymore.
It's not that bad.
It is that bad.
This movie felt that bad.
Yeah.
I was
This
watching
movie
this.
is bad.
I was watching this movie and I was like, this gives me hope as like an up and coming filmmaker.
Yeah.
Because these people, I'm no disrespect, but there's some choices in there that it's like, how did this get through? How does this have a $60 million budget or whatever? It's like insane. Anyway, I don't want to be too disrespectful.
David Ayer, yeah.
And he did Training Day.
He wrote Training Day.
He only wrote it. He didn't direct it.
He didn't direct it.
Okay.
He wrote and directed Fury.
Oh,
He
that one was
did
on the map.
the
for
first
sure.
Suicide Squad, which everybody hated.
Which sucked.
he did The Beekeeper, which I love.
Yeah.
I like The Beekeeper more than this one.
Did you do End of Watch too?
He
If
did
he
End of
produced
Watch.
it.
How
Yeah.
many who does it have to go through to get like greenlit? It feels like it's there's not many people like that like have to sign off on it.
Are you
or
trying
if
to
they
say
are,
like who watched this film and they were like, yeah,
no, I'm saying
let's give it to the people now?
It's just some of the
Who saw the
writing on it.
script?
It's just how did that
Did you
script
see
get made?
Sylvester Stallone has
Like
a
I-
huge screenplay credit on this?
Really?
What?
You didn't see that? Oh, you guys weren't watching the fucking opening credits?
No, I wasn't honestly.
It felt
Might have
like
missed
the
that.
main writing credit should have gone to ChatGPT. It
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
very
Okay.
AI written.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
The beginning intro title sequence was AI, right?
No, it was like Blender.
I think it was AI. I
No
swear to
shot,
God.
zero
No, dude.
shot.
No.
That was the best part of the movie.
That was the best part of the
Dude,
That was
but
super
think
fun.
about think about the rest of the movie that we just watched.
Yeah.
Do you think they're really putting the money into animators to do just a opening sequence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
100%. It was
I don't
mixed
think
with
so.
it was real mixed with 3D.
I'm willing to bet money on this. And if I'm wrong, that's fine.
You are wrong.
You're super wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong,
I
man.
can 100%.
AI,
there-
AI can't do that yet.
I mean, you could probably get something similar,
you can
but
get
I
something
mean,
close.
I've seen a lot of 3D stuff that was
There were
definitely
some-
done in 3D.
There were some things in that opening credit sequence where I was like, that has a little tinge of the GBT.
Yeah, they went kind of abstract with it. There was like people the size of bullets at one point. There was this one cement truck that had a grenade as the cement truck, so it was just rotating.
It was sick.
Yeah,
I
it was like
loved it.
really cool. I was
That
like,
was my
oh,
favorite
this is
part of the
awesome.
It was
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
I was like-
it was interesting.
This is pretty cool. Like, I'll remember this because it's like a good reference for like, good intros. Not a lot
Yeah.
of movies do.
Yeah.
No, it definitely wasn't AI though, but I could see why you'd think that because
I could see how your small brain.
yeah,
could maybe
exactly
put
what
that
I was gonna
together,
say.
yeah.
I just didn't want to be mean.
Okay, are you guys willing to bet on this?
Yeah,
100%.
Okay, I'll pay each of you $10.
You're buying dinner
Alright.
next time.
Oh, that's weird.
Got in there.
I'll pay each of you $10 if that was by real animators.
All right.
Are we looking it up right
Yeah,
now?
yeah. You guys
Okay.
keep going. Keep going.
Who is this movie for? We kind of touched on it.
Yeah.
Old ladies with little dogs that want Jason Statham to protect them.
The dog also looked blind.
it did. It was
It
her
did, yeah.
service dog, and it needed way more help than she did.
Yeah.
She's the dog service human.
Yeah. Yeah, the dog is really trying to catch up with her on the way up.
Come on, Max. We're
Keep it going, keep
Oh
going.
shoot. Okay, come on, guys.
Can I say this movie? This movie felt about 30 minutes to 45 minutes too long for me. I was
Oh yeah.
getting bored towards the end there.
Yeah, I think the charm of how shitty it was started to wear off.
Yeah, well, they just started to be less like funny shitty, and it
Yeah.
just was more shitty. I feel like the climax got dragged on. Like you're like, oh, now we're doing it, and then like some other bad guy would be like, I'm the new bad guy, and it's like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
They introduced like 3 or 4 random, like that guy in the trench coat. Kind of that skinny guy, like
The weird
came out of nowhere
Russian
with a
skinny
machine
guy.
gun.
The machine gun guy who had
Gnarliest
infinite bullets.
machine gun
Yeah,
And
ever.
I-
dies immediately.
There's multiple characters antagonist towards the end where it's just like, who are you people?
Yeah.
You know? It's
yeah. Yeah, there's no setup for some of the people towards that.
Yeah.
I
Which is ironic because there was so much exposition dump throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. I feel like this movie is for the kids who are in ROTC but never like made it to boot camp, you know? They're just like, yeah. You know, and this is their like outlet to, you know, get some of that ROTC aggression out.
I feel like both military veterans and blue collar workers would be offended by this movie. And they
You
were kind of
think so?
trying to
You
get
think both of them?
The portrayal of a blue collar worker in the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah.
was so egregious.
It was horrible, dude. That was horrendous.
like they having the little like
dude,
like,
that was
have you
crazy.
ever been on a construction site in your life?
They don't have pep talks like that in the
They
beginning.
just talk shit to each other.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, I agree. The veteran stuff too. It got really weird at one point with the biker guy.
Like,
no
was so
spoilers
strange.
yet,
No
Yeah,
spoilers,
yeah.
but like you're a piece of shit human trafficker, but
yeah.
you also serve, so like dap me up, bro.
Yeah,
Respect.
brother. Yeah, that was wild. What you find?
I can't.
anything?
I'm not finding anything.
Okay.
There's lots of visual effects supervisors and artists that worked on this film.
It'll be hard to find the proof. I'm sure you could find the studio that did it.
What
Yeah,
did you look
eventually.
up? Did you look up? Did they use AI for the opening sequence?
Well, dude, no, they didn't. I didn't look that up because that's fishing for your for your thing.
Okay. Did they not use AI?
Dude, it's not AI. It's not AI. It's clearly animated.
Okay, well, if you guys want your $10, you're gonna have to prove it to me.
I'm going
That's
to. I'll
fine.
prove it later.
But
Yeah.
you guys have to pay me $10 each.
That's fine.
If- okay.
I'm very confident
Yeah,
that they're
we
not
should
using
on it.
AI for movie intros yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't put it past the studios yet, especially for a movie like this, where it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's watching this movie, like, you know, some film historian or whatever, and they're like, you know, so it could pass by in a movie like this.
I think right now in movie climate, they're avoiding that because there's a huge stigma around it. So if it does come out like, oh, Working Man used an AI intro, then immediately it gets negative attention. Right now, at least, while AI's, you know, this anti-art thing.
I mean, dude, there's already movies heavily using AI. And I mean, like, this isn't a heavy
Can you
usage
name
example,
a movie?
but The Brutalist that just got nominated for a bunch of Oscars. And granted, there was a bunch of controversy with it, but they used AI for Adrian Brody's Hungarian accent for the ADR. Because it is the hardest accent to nail. And the editor is Hungarian, and he actually spoke a lot of Adrian's lines, and then they like morphed them with AI.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And then The Late Night with the Devil, they used a bunch of AI for their graphic sequences.
Really
Interesting.
And there's a bunch of controversy with that. I mean, it's controversial, you know, but it's happening. Like, there's rules and limits to, you know, there's like a checks and balances, but also we're so early into AI usage that who knows how well it's actually being accounted for.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say is that AI video isn't quite there where they could make a whole intro sequence that cohesive. Like if you see that a lot of the AI videos are very short, like
Yeah.
because it's hard to keep the
consistency.
you know, I'm not trying to get off tangent here on
No,
an AI
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
but it's very hard to make a 2-minute long intro sequence look like, you know,
Yeah.
somebody made it by hand.
But that's what kind of threw me off. I didn't feel like it looked visually consistent. And there wasn't one person, like there wasn't a Jasen Statham person in the opening sequence. It
There's
was like,
flashes of military Jason Statham.
I didn't see a Jasen Statham. I just saw a military guy, you know, kind of silhouetted.
Oh yeah, for the
Okay.
most part there was. Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm going to get $30.
I have a feeling you're not.
It's not AI, dude.
Okay. well,
Anyway.
we can agree to disagree.
Okay.
We'll wait for
we can
the-
find it later.
we'll wait
and then
for
Yeah,
update
I'm
on the
gonna
next
find it
one.
later.
We'll,
yeah.
we'll settle this on the next episode.
I'll make
Yeah.
a Reddit post and try to
yeah,
get
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
There's not
just.
a lot of people diving into a working man production right now.
So I'm gonna make them die.
Yeah.
We're gonna be the first.
Yeah. So it's
You
kind of
heard
tough
it
to
here
find.
first. You guys want to get into spoilers?
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
spoiler
itching.
time.
This is a spoiler warning. Consider yourself warned.
All right.
We got to start with the opening scene. We brought it up a little bit, but just like the representation of blue collar workers was
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
just heinous.
Like horrible.
It felt like they I don't even know what they referenced for that. Like how did they even get to this point where
Well-
there's like this inspirational speech at the beginning of the workday?
He's like, it's gonna be a real hard day.
Yeah, it's like,
I just want all of you to keep all of your little
It looks-
fingers on your little hand.
Go home with
the same amount of
fingers you came here with.
it's like it looked like they're like mid job. Like everybody knows what they're doing already.
Yeah,
At this point.
yeah. Also, did you notice that he's a psycho and he just like puts ground coffee and hot water together and just stirs
That's
it up?
instant coffee.
No. It
That
didn't
is
look instant.
co-
Bro. It
that
didn't
is
look
instant.
instant.
That a lot of people do that.
Fuck, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah, that's the second thing you're wrong about today.
I'm sorry.
No. Maybe the second thing I'm wrong with.
That was a fun little consistent thing. He's just always making coffee, getting hyped up to kill more people.
Yeah, he was like at the sniper stand.
Yeah, he's like,
making it.
yeah, make.
He's
I
tough
need
as
my coffee.
nails.
Yeah.
He drinks instant.
no cream.
I love Jason Statham though.
When have you guys ever had to protect your coworker from a random gang of people
All the time.
at the job site?
Sean is in some rough crowds.
It
So,
gets tricky
yeah.
around
It was
these
such
parts.
a random, like, expositional scene.
Yeah, they never paid that off.
no,
Yeah.
they
That never
had
comes back
no
around.
tie-in with the movie whatsoever.
No, they were
it
like
was just the show. Oh, he doesn't give a fuck.
they were like Mexican gangsters, and then the real threat was like Russian mobsters or whatever.
Yeah,
Hilarious though that he doused that guy in the concrete powder, and then the shot of that guy just standing there fully white,
yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
covered head to toe in concrete powder. That was very funny.
So while we're here, I do have a note from this movie. Jason Statham will have anyone's back as long as he gets grandma's tortillas.
That's true, yeah.
That is all you need to give Jason Statham, and you have his protection.
Yep.
Why
is
everyone always feeding me?
That
was a line from
Yeah,
that.
it was a line, yeah.
Because people will give him food like 3 times in the first 5 minutes.
So random. It's so
Hilarious.
funny though. It's like the fist bump. You got my back. I got you back.
And then they pay it off later, and they're like, "What are you doing this for? What? How important is that girl?"
Yeah.
I told her I'd have her back.
And we
Yeah.
fist bumped really
Have you
good.
ever had grandma's tortillas?
Great grandma's baked beans.
Also great. One of my favorite parts of the movie in the beginning is Michael Pena crying,
Oh,
trying to cry.
was
The
tough,
lip
man.
quiver.
He was trying to do the lip quiver.
That was tough, dude. Oh, man.
It was so
Yeah.
bad. I can't remember his lines, but it made me laugh so hard.
Dude, all the lines, like none of it made sense.
No,
None of it was
uh.
the lines of his daughter to him
Oh.
were so strange. It was like she
Yeah.
was an adult woman talking to her dad. Like it wasn't like a
Did you kill Grandpa?
it was so weird.
Didn't
Nah.
kill him.
And they barely did anything with her. They're like setting her all up, and it's like I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, she's gonna get like held hostage
Probably,
at some
yeah, that's
point."
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And they literally did nothing with her. She went to some safe space, and
Yeah.
that was it. And he's like,
Oh.
only so that he could say, "You wouldn't know if you didn't have it, or if you had a daughter." When he asked that guy, and he's like, "Do you have a daughter?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Then you wouldn't understand."
Yeah,
like
there's also that
exactly.
random
Which is such a crazy line because, like, you know, you don't have to have a daughter to know that human trafficking is wrong.
Yeah, I know. Hot take.
Yeah.
That. Whoa, careful with what you're saying.
Hot take, but you don't need a daughter to know.
I
that
think it's
human
wrong
trafficking's
too.
wrong.
I don't have a daughter.
Yeah. That one random scene too of the FaceTime call in the car.
Oh,
We
yes.
both like it was like the movie's like, oh, we need to remind the audience that he has a daughter.
It's like
we-
in the middle of an action scene.
it provides nothing.
Literally nothing. And also, I'm so glad you brought that up because this was so funny to me.
At school,
It's
just
not
checking
even
in.
a real FaceTime either. You can tell that they just like pre-recorded this video. His
Yeah.
face is in the little
No.
box. It's literally just a recording
No, it's the
of her.
She's not
laziest-
even holding it. It's
the
like
laziest
set up on
one.
a tripod.
I know, yeah.
Her hands are down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she's like
Dude.
framed all crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Do you think that was like her like audition tape?
could have been for
Yeah.
sure. That was a
kinda what
pretty
it
bad
looked like.
audition tape because she's just like,
Oh yeah.
I'm just calling you cuz. Just
Yeah.
all right, bye.
Just wanted to make sure you still love me.
yeah. I'm at school. Shouldn't be on my phone, sure, but I just love you. Wanted to see your face.
Yeah.
Does the audience remember I'm in the movie? Okay, cool, bye.
Oh, he's got a daughter. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's really nice.
Back to the Russians.
Right after he kills those two guys.
Something
Three
I
guys.
noticed that Michael doesn't have in his notes is a crazy amount of city aerial shots. Like
That were
every,
all at a Dutch
yeah.
angle.
every transition was a city aerial shot. It was like every other shot was, and I was like, okay, I get it. We're in the city. We can just
There
cut to the
is a
next
city.
scene.
Yeah. No, we gotta fill some time. We gotta establish the scene. You know, we're in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Why was
nighttime?
everything-
Let's
yeah.
make the city time lapse tonight real quick. Okay, now we're at the club. Like,
Yeah.
Wait, the movie was in Chicago?
Well, that's.
I'm
Like,
just kidding.
Yeah.
There is like
There's
so many
much, yeah.
Chicago things.
Yeah.
The van, just like Chicago cleaners.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything was Chicago in this movie. To that point, I think that we should make a drinking game for this movie. Every time you see the moon, and it is just massive.
the moon was gigantic. I think it was like
You
a
have to take a
practical
shot.
moon.
I think it
No.
was literally they were like, "How do we light this? I don't know how to hide this light." And they had a giant
Yeah.
circle softbox in the background.
I think so.
And they're
Yeah,
like,
it
"That's
was,
the
yeah.
moon."
I think it's practical.
It
Not
was
practical.
for sure. It was lighting
Yeah.
the
No,
scene.
I think it was
Yeah.
practical because there was like crazy, like at one point it was behind trees, and
Yeah.
it literally just looked like a big softbox in the bokeh.
Okay, so
And like the way it's the way like the leaves and everything are bokeh around, like it has light wrap and everything, like it.
when
me-
you say practical, you're not saying the real moon, right?
No.
Yes,
Yes?
I'm not saying the real moon.
Okay. Sorry, that confused
Like a
me. I didn't know if you're
practical-
saying yes,
Like
that
a
is the
practical
real
real
moon.
Practical real moon.
They
Okay.
would have to be on like
Because to me, practical means real moon, but I see what you guys are saying, like softbox
Yeah,
with like
they
a
like
moon.
made a big
yeah.
Moonlight.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That was so fun how they just made the moon so huge in this movie.
for no
Like, yeah,
reason
no
whatsoever.
So
reason.
many shots.
It added
Every time
nothing.
you see the moon, it's ginormous.
And it's like barely on the horizon, like it's setting.
yeah,
Yeah, they would have to be on like a 600 at all times to make a real moon.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that,
And it wouldn't be that bright.
No.
Well, dude, also with all the day to nights, like the moon wouldn't be that full for that many days either. The moon was full the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. That's true. Yeah.
I know.
Uh,
I thought Jason was going to start howling.
I don't
at
know.
some
This
point,
movie
turn
feels
into
like
a
it
werewolf.
happened in like 2 days to me. It was like he like really was moving,
Yeah,
killing
so?
people.
Which was crazy because at the very end, they were all still at the grieving party, and it looked like they were there the entire time.
never left.
Well, like they had to shoot the scene with the actors in that scene, and you might as well knock out the last shot too, you know?
Yeah,
So they probably, you know,
they
just
had them all there.
they
shot
were
them
all
back
wearing
to
the
back.
same clothes.
Yeah.
Logistically, it makes sense to just shoot that scene same day. You know?
They're just grieving
Yeah.
so hard they can't even change their clothes.
Yeah,
you
they've been
know?
there for
They
a
couldn't
while.
change the lighting setup, but the lighting setup was exactly the same.
It was atrocious. Also, like, I'm sorry, but why is the whole family there for days? You know what I mean? Like, where are they all sleeping? Do
There's
they even
not
have
that
enough
many
couches? Are they just bringing? You
Where
know,
are the futons? I want to see futon
I
shots.
think you're
Exact-
nitpicking a weird part of this. Film.
No, dude.
Man,
this is
if I
this
go
is
missing,
way more
I hope
bull
my
matches.
family's not like, well, gotta go back to the apartment.
Yeah.
Can't grieve with you guys anymore. This is weird. We're all together.
Okay, whatever, guys. This is real film criticism.
No,
right
I'm on your side, Michael. There should be more futon shots and more blow-up mattress shots, so you could show where they stayed. Why they were over.
Can we
Yes.
talk about
The room settings.
the sound design? There was some crazy like texture sounds in this film that were really
Glass.
weird. Like when he like
The
almost
handshake
shakes his
shot.
hand.
Yeah.
It's like almost, and there's like this like
was so
swirly like
strange.
I know what you're
sound.
talking about. Yeah.
And then also like all the like big sound bois like
Yeah.
sound cues.
the sound cues.
The sound
Dude,
cues
in
were
this movie are-
hilarious.
The
dude.
stings whenever
Horrendous.
they'd like be a face or a name.
Yeah.
Like
Like
Boom, boom.
he's like, I'm Dimmy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit. Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
that's the guy. Yeah.
There is also
Oh, he's the bad one.
there is also a scene where I was feeling pretty gaslit because it was literally like they just put a dog whistle throughout the whole
Dude,
scene, and
yes.
the whole time I'm just like
That was the
crumpling
security
up.
system.
Yes.
And I'm like looking at you guys, like, are you hearing this?
Yeah.
And you guys are just like watching it. Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
I was
I
hearing
mean-
it too. It was bad.
It
It was-
fucked me up.
It was supposed to be like the security system, like all the cameras. Okay. What the hell was up with the security system had like all the fixed cameras, and then they cut to like the close-up shot, and like you hear like servo noises, like it's like zooming in or something, and you're like, okay, that's weird. Then they cut to all the monitors, and there's one camera that's just like a security camera, but it's clearly being framed and like moving around like it's a handheld shot. Like, who is doing that?
I know.
What
it was-
security system do you have? Like,
it
where
wasn't smooth at all. It was super shaky. I'm just imagining like some goon just in the corner,
Yeah,
like, holding the camera up.
up.
It's like, you want me to zoom in?
Yeah, just trying to.
Been here for
Yeah,
so long,
try-
my arm is getting really tired.
they did that with all of it when he had like the camera in his car
That was
and
so
stuff,
Oh
and
my
he'd be
God, yeah.
pointing it with his hand, and it's like on like a 600, like super stable,
dude.
And then he'd be able to hear the Russian people through their concrete walls.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
like, I just hate when technology, like you're hearing a conversation like with nothing else in the background, like perfectly.
Also, that shot of him adjusting the camera. That camera was pointed at him, dude.
Oh, yeah, it was like-
there's no way the camera's going through the window, like past him. It's like looking at him.
He's getting like the pores in his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's some great scenes like that. There is another amazing like research hacking scene that was like 2 seconds long in this, and you're like, we need to find out who this guy is. Here he is. And there's just like a bunch of random photos.
It like pops up on the
Yeah.
screen, Bop, 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 and then it's him in a military uniform.
Yeah.
We found him.
Dude, I've never been able to get a Google search to do that.
No,
Pop up a bunch of pictures for me.
even ChatGPT
Yeah.
can't do that yet.
Yeah. Can we
That
talk
was
about
great.
that same scene with where he meets Dimmy the first time? He's like, this man is small potatoes. I am big potatoes.
That is an awesome line.
Dude, there's some funny lines.
I know.
Sorry, sir. Did you say you're big potatoes or baked potatoes?
Also, there's a full Daffy Duck line in this. When the guy gets choked, he's like,
That sounds like Schmeagol. Probably back to Lord of the Rings.
Dude, I was like, holy shit, it's Gollum.
Schmeagol.
That was nuts.
It was so
we,
good.
we turned and laughed at each other at a great display of cinematography and blocking when they're panning with the car, and then it just ends on a telephone.
Yeah, the telephone pole, dude.
and it's like not even in focus. It's like still out
It
of
blocked
focus.
the whole shot.
And then they just pan back into the
Yeah.
other car. It's like, what is going on right now?
It seemed like they did that one time. Like,
Yeah.
that was the take. They're like, we
It's like,
got
nah,
the pan, and it was it.
I will not move the camera to the left. I'm already set up right here.
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
that was so funny. That was good.
Felt like a weird operator error thing. Like he pans over, it completely frames the telephone pole. It almost seems like he wants to like move out a little bit, and then he's like, "Oh shit, the other car's coming," and then pans back to get the other car.
I want to point out another highlight of this movie to me. First of all, the beginning action sequences, there's just zero foreplay, no flirting, barely any talking. You meet the person, bam, action sequence.
Yep.
And then to fill in and compensate for all the time that they cut out with those sequences, we have a 30-minute scene of Jasen Statham just like buying meth. It was like 30 minutes long of him just acquiring meth, and for 20 minutes of it, I'm like wondering, like, wait, isn't this about human trafficking? What is he even doing right now? Like he was just
making contact with the enemy.
Yeah, he was making contact, but it didn't make any sense for like 20 minutes. He was just buying meth.
Yeah, it did seem.
And then you finally meet what's his name? Dimmy.
Yeah.
Then you finally meet Dimmy like 20 minutes into that meth sequence.
Yeah.
So funny.
And he had really no way of knowing that was going to lead to Dimmy either. The guy just told him they sell meth there.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, I'm going to go
guys.
buy $20,000 worth of it, and then I'll meet the main guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just happened to work like that. If they would have just kept it like, because he first gets it under his seat, like no contact, and then they're like, okay, they like it, now you can meet the main guy. Like, it just makes it so bad. The writing was so bad.
Whoever wrote this movie has never like bought drugs, I'm assuming.
It's Sylvester Stallone, David Ayer.
You guys need to buy more drugs before you write about it. No, it's just so weird.
Yeah. This is a weird movie, man. The Jasen Statham charm, really wore off for me.
Yeah.
There was like a couple glimmers of like old Jasen Statham movies in it, a couple lines that I loved, but yeah, man.
He's working a little too hard.
Yeah.
Working man.
Oh, guys. Okay, there is a fantastic performance in this movie. David Harbour.
Oh.
Dude.
Who's David Harbour?
David Harbour is the guy from Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
yeah,
he played a blind veteran, I think, really well.
Really?
That was my favorite character.
Yeah. I mean, he was great. I didn't feel like he played it that well.
Dude, I thought he did great at that.
I didn't know he was blind.
For the lines he was given and
dude,
what he had to work with.
Like he was
I mean, sure.
He was
we'll give him
I was
credit.
like, he's crushing this character.
I mean, he absolutely put his all into it.
Oh,
the character as a whole was just so ridiculous.
He was so convincing. That was great.
What was the line? There is a line that made Will laugh so hard.
It wasn't just the line. At first, I wasn't clear that he was blind, and it was like the sun was obviously setting, and they're in front of a campfire, and he still has his sunglasses on. Then he takes them off. I'm like, oh yeah, it's getting dark, and then he puts them right back on.
So it must be tough living in a gray world.
He took them off to show his eyes, like, yeah, that fucked me up. And then he shows his eye, and then puts them right back on.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, like taking stuff off and putting it right back on that I noticed. In that, like with the hard hat, he'd be like just juggling that thing.
When he's talking about serious stuff, takes it off.
Yeah.
When it's working man time, puts it right back on.
I don't understand why he says no the first time. Like,
the
family asks him to like.
Well, that's because you just had that scene with the daughter, and then it's like, oh, for her, he's not going to turn into that violent man. No, I am not going to save this girl that I gave a fist bump to.
But he's like, but then the next scene after he talks to the blind
then he caves
David
immediately.
Harbour, he's like, they're my family.
That's what I meant by no foreplay. It's just like, no, I can't do it. And then, okay.
It was kind of
What's
fun.
the job?
How quickly.
I don't do jobs no more.
Yeah.
What's the job?
He just said no because he wanted to like kind of brag to his blind veteran friend who can't do that kind of stuff anymore. He's like, I have this job I might do. Like, you don't need my approval.
Yeah.
Who can say no to you?
What makes we've all seen John Wick. You've seen John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
What makes that so much better than this?
There was I know what you mean. There's very similar like party scenes and like some like correlations that it feels like they pulled from, but just couldn't nail.
I like what makes John Wick so much better than this film.
Well, one is definitely the cinematography and stunt coordination, obviously, but that's blatant. To me, I don't think the first 3 John Wicks are very far off from this movie. Here's why. No, listen to me. Character development in those movies sucks. Okay? But the difference is John Wick doesn't say that much. And they killed his fucking dog. Okay? That is enough to drive anyone to be like, okay, this guy needs to win, right?
These people kidnapped a full human.
Yeah. And we don't give a shit about her.
I know why.
Because she's not a dog. I don't know why.
Yeah, they fucked up.
The fourth John Wick
kidnapped a dog.
The fourth John Wick is incredible.
Yeah.
Their character development in that is a lot better.
Yes.
And there's that post that we both saw that forget how much money it was, but
it was like $39,000.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Keanu Reeves charged like $37,000 per word that he had to speak in that movie because he felt that the less dialogue, the better his character is going to be, and it should all be delivered through action.
Yeah.
This movie does not give a fuck about action. It is dumping exposition. It is trying to be witty with its dialogue, and it's not, you know?
Yeah. Well, I compare it more to John Wick 1 because that, to me, that's I think it's the best film of the 4.
Really?
Obviously 4 is incredible.
Yeah.
But like from a bare bones action film that the working man is trying to be, it's so grounded. There's like really cool lore built into it. And like you actually care about these characters somehow, where like this one, it just felt like they tried to do like way too much or something. Like it just, none of it lands. None of it.
I don't know. I'm just in general like these solo like killer like hand excuse me hand to hand combat movies like John Wick and this movie. They don't land with me that well because it's just so like he didn't get hit once. They were spraying bullets at him the whole movie
for so long, and they were close.
And
they were close, following him, shooting directly at him. Nothing got him.
And there was like 10 guys in that bar scene with the guy on the cool throne made of motorcycle mufflers.
Yeah,
The Game of Thrones
where they're like all
motorcycles.
attacking him, and somehow he's like pulling these. I don't know. I know that's like the thing of the movie.
Well,
but
they're tight shots because if you had a wide shot, you just see a bunch of goons doing this, just waiting, just idling out.
Yeah.
I find like more grounded, like realistic, like, oh, that could happen, like way more entertaining to watch than when they're just like, I don't know, Jackie Channing it the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, in John Wick, he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, he gets
like he's constantly getting hurt and then
in a
also,
very unrealistic way.
Of course, yeah. It's a movie though.
Yeah.
You know, like
I think a big difference with John Wick 2 is the fact that the editing is not like they hold shots in John Wick, you know? And so the action does not feel like an afterthought.
No, yeah.
It feels calculated. It's really artistic the way that they
this film didn't have any like standout action moments for me. There's moments even in Love Hurts that like are standout moments or like creative stunt choreography, and then obviously John Wick it's very action forward and they put a ton of care and love into it, and I don't remember any like there's no like big set piece that I was like, oh yeah, that was cool.
Kind of odd for me. He can take on so many guys at one time, and he did like throughout the whole movie. But at the very end, when he does finally see her, there's 2 people he needs to take out. He completely ignores one and focused on the guy that he's been trying to go after the whole time. And just like hope that the girl that's tied up can handle the other girl.
Well, she did karate.
So
they established that very early on.
She knows how to break fingers.
Naturally,
Sean, you need to pay attention to these little
of course,
little
karate,
details,
karate,
man.
Yeah.
You know what was sick is that the bullets were like acted like cannonballs, like that guy who jumps through on the motorcycle into the mansion and then gets shot, like flies the other
They do,
way,
like, a
like
wire
he
pull,
loses
yeah.
all his velocity. I love when they do wire work for no reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
is
did
fun.
love when he did barge in and the guy with the bit face gets blasted back
Oh,
so
yeah,
far.
Yeah, that's fun.
It
with
reminded
one
me.
shot from a rifle.
When they open the door and he looks like the penguin from
That was
Batman.
so awesome.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of in Jackass 4.
Oh.
Well,
We were
yes.
thinking different.
Sorry.
Django.
Django is a much better movie.
Django.
But Jackass 4, when Wee Man, like, they're playing the musical chairs and he sits down and then he like gets launched and just lands perfectly in the little hole that the chairs made. Like that guy just got launched so perfectly in that
Yeah.
little pool thing.
Yeah.
It was awesome. There's a lot of water torture in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Some good
There's a
waterboarding.
good, 3 big water torture scenes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Strange.
Okay, a big pet peeve of mine in a movie like this, right, where we're supposed to believe that Jason Statham here is this calculated, just unstoppable force, right?
Yeah.
He throws that guy in the pool, kills him, right?
Mhm.
But doesn't scrub any of the security footage at all.
Doesn't need to.
Doesn't need to, I guess. Yeah, he
doesn't
wants
care
them
if
to
they look
find
He's
him.
got
Yeah.
plot armor. He doesn't care.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Plot armor. That's a great
Even
way.
he knows that. Can I go on like a little deeper note?
Go on a
Is
deeper
that
note, man. Let's really
this-
analyze this.
sex trafficking thing felt too lightly delivered, and like it felt
Oh,
too like
yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna use sex trafficking as like your main plot point, it either has to like show exactly how dark that is. It felt kind of like, oh, we kidnapped this girl and she doesn't really care. Like she wasn't like that sad about it. She was like talking back to them and stuff. Like that would be the most terrifying thing of your life. And she's like
Yeah.
flipping them off at the end, and like
Yeah.
it felt so light. Like
The tone was
It's
strange.
egregious.
I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine being like a survivor or something like that
victim,
and watching a
survivor,
movie
yeah.
like this, and they're like just kind of making a mockery of it. And like
It's because she had Jason Statham confidence like throughout the whole thing too.
Yeah.
Like
that was
she
so annoying.
which
Yeah.
was not warranted.
no,
And,
then
it was.
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying.
It was
And
sex
then-
trafficking exploitation.
yeah, I don't know. It felt like not the best plot device to be
No.
used, but
It's cheap. It's cheap and it's lazy. But
I mean, have you guys seen Euphoria? Like
Hmm.
that had a pretty good like not like they didn't end up sex trafficking, but she like almost got caught up in something. And it's like you think about that scene for a while after you realize that she like almost got sex trafficked, but it's like dark. Like you're
Yeah.
like holy
Yeah.
shit, that's like super scary and evil.
it's like a very heavy and real thing.
Yeah, I think if you're
Yeah.
going to explore that topic, like an action family movie is not. It just felt out of taste for me.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point. I agree.
And then he's like still bros with the other veteran at the end. He like closes his eyelids and stuff. It's like,
so
dude,
weird.
you're like respecting a guy that's like in a sex trafficking or it just
Well,
felt super weird.
They like made a
Yeah.
connection while his knife was like fully completely deeped into his stomach, and he's like digging in further, and then the guy who's getting stabbed is like, go get him. Like, and that, yeah, I totally like.
Well,
no,
it made
he
the
didn't say that.
connection.
He said,
Do what you got to do.
yeah,
or
do what you got to do. Yeah, something
finish
like
the
that.
job or whatever.
Yeah,
well,
he did
when
say
he,
something like
I think
that.
he
he
was talking
said
about
finish the
killing
job.
him.
Yeah, he was talking about killing him.
Yeah.
Not the other guys.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Dude, his eyes were bulging out of his head. He's like, finish! Please finish!
I thought he meant like, yeah, go over there and kill everyone else, dude. Finish the job.
No.
he drives the knife through like with a pile driver.
That was so weird.
Oh, man. Yeah, this movie
It
is
felt
so good.
you just said something, but like it felt lazy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So lazy.
Well,
Super lazy.
think about it. And we're all victims to this. They know that whoever made this movie, besides David Ayers, like the studio behind this, which that's another thing that I love it when
12
you watch
studios.
a movie and it takes 12 minutes to get through the production companies in the
Yeah.
beginning.
There's a lot of production companies.
They know that it doesn't matter what they do with this film. They just need to build something. It can be super paper thin, but it just needs to drive a story so that Jason Statham can kill some guys, you know? And they know that the worse it is, the more fun we're going to have too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, it's brain rot.
We had fun for a way different reason than most of the people watching this film.
Yeah.
I think, I do think that audiences are starting to get a little more aware. The more and more, because there's a lot of information on social media. A lot of people are starting to see things about movies. And I think especially with Marvel, like people are starting to notice, you know, like, oh, this is way different than the Avengers I was watching, you know, 5 years ago. This is fucking pig slop now, you know? And that's what, I mean, that
Pig slop.
we're just a bunch of little piggies just slopping
We're just
it up.
slopping up,
you know?
Just eating from the Marvel trough.
Yeah.
I want to bring something up.
Okay.
So when we make films and us being like in on the project, we usually view films now from a completely different lens, you know, because we're aware of like production and like the writing process, editing, shooting, and for a long time, I feel like people didn't really have like a really good behind the scenes look at how films were made. And there was kind of like this fantasy behind movies, you know, the magic of cinema. And now that we're seeing so much behind the scenes content and so much, you know, production and editing, and now I feel like, to your point, like people are getting that different lens. Like when you're saying like we're laughing at it for different reasons, it's like because we have at least tried to make something, so we know like what goes into making something. Are we too meta now, like as a society?
Oh, as a society,
you know what I'm saying? Like everything is a peek behind the curtain. Even the main part of social media right now is like post a BTS clip and then the final result. Like the final result is almost secondary now.
Yeah.
Where it's not as important, but they want to see what you are, like how you are making it.
I think that's a great point.
And so now when we go to movies, like there's so much context behind all these films that like what do we even, how are you supposed to enjoy it if you're not suspending your disbelief?
I think this is also a reflection of the type of content that is popular on social media. And I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I don't just endlessly scroll and watch complete brain rot, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But like, this is a brain rot movie. This is for the person that doesn't have the attention span to sit through a movie like The Brutalist, right? Where you have an intermission in the middle of it and it's about a Holocaust survivor, you know? This is for the person that's trying to escape and continue scrolling, you know?
Yeah.
Because now when you watch a movie that like The Brutalist, that is taking you away from your scroll time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe for somebody that is not as invested in film as like we are, that it's jarring to take yourself out of scrolling on social media, you know?
Well, I think also, say, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago when social media didn't have so many good, like, talented people that could post stuff they're doing for way less money, like that aren't in Hollywood, they don't have those connections. You would only see movies at the movie theater, and to see the good indie stuff, you got to go to the festivals and stuff, which most people don't do. And now that, like, I mean, like, Flow just won Best Animated, and that's like some dudes on Blender.
Yeah.
Compared to movies that were made in Hollywood with huge visual effects studios. It's like people are seeing the real talent that's not in Hollywood, and this is, to me, this is like, man, there's some people that know some people, but they kind of suck. Like, there's no way you're going to, like, a lot of the passionate people are going to let a telephone pole be in their final, you know? They wouldn't even let that be in there. Where these guys, it feels like they just were like,
yeah,
they'll still go see the movie, those, you know, brain rot fools. Like, you know?
I also think, I would imagine that this film has more of an older audience as well. Maybe people that were younger when Jason Statham was kind of becoming, you know, an icon in action. And something that I see on social media all the time that is really concerning to me is these crazy AI posts where it's like a fucking baby in like a sailor's uniform or something holding a cardboard sign.
Dude.
And it's like, nobody wish me a happy birthday. And there's like all these fucking old people unironically being like, happy birthday, you know, like, happy birthday, sweetie.
I'm starting to get fooled by those.
fuck?
I saw one the other day, and it was like some boat with an arm and a big circular brush, like cleaning a whale, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then I was like, somebody in the comments was like, this is so obviously AI, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I do think though that like our generation and maybe like a couple generations above us are more media literate now, and we can tell like, okay, that's fucking brain rot or that's ridiculous. So I do think there is hope for our generation and some younger generations where like you're saying with Flo, right? Or even in Nora, it's like people are seeing those movies, they're loving them, and those movies are being made passionately, you know?
Yeah, they make you feel something.
Yeah.
Yeah. This felt very devoid of passion.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Doesn't make me
devoid.
feel anything.
I mean, and to compare this movie to John Wick and Flo, which is a crazy comparison.
Yeah.
But another great thing about John Wick, and will be true for any film that doesn't have a lot of dialogue, is that action is always more compelling than dialogue. And Flo has zero dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, it's a film with animals who don't speak, and you get very emotionally invested the whole time. Like, that is powerful filmmaking.
Yeah, the
And
problem...
it makes it universal, you know, like anybody, it doesn't matter, like somebody who speaks Chinese, somebody who speaks English, you know, German, whatever, like you can see that movie, you know what's going on, and everybody can emotionally connect.
The problem for me is that the action's there in this movie, but they're not driving the plot through the act. All the plot is driven through weird interjections in conversation where they're like, oh, you know, that's my dad. He was in the military, you know, like random stuff like that where they just throw the exposition out at the end of the sentence for no reason. You're like, you would never say something like that.
The craziest line at the end is when he comes back to his daughter and she's like, oh my god, like it was almost like she was saying like, oh my god, you're my dad, thank you for coming back, dad.
Dad, it's really you. Like, we've established that through the whole movie. Like,
Came back and now I get to see you.
Yeah, that was,
the exposition was horrible.
yeah, I agree.
Okay, the best line in the movie, though.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Best line in the movie.
Oh wait, I hope it's my,
It's Demi saying,
okay.
fuck off. And then that goon, Viper, saying, fucking off, sir.
That was pretty good. My favorite line, favorite line is when his daughter's grandpa, so his father-in-law, is in the fire in that house, right? And they like, him and his father-in-law have like a little quarrel, you know, whatever, about custody, blah blah blah. He goes in to save his father-in-law, brings him out, and then he's just ripping him a new one. He's just like, this is all because of you, violence follows you, blah blah blah. And then the daughter is just like, you know, grandpa, he could have just left you in there. Like, wow, that is so mature of this little
Everything
girl.
that little
Everything
girl
she
said was a adult woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Oh,
that
it was so
crazy.
good. That one made me
That
laugh
whole
so
conversation was so strange, and it was also like, he's kind of right though. Like, he's not. This grandpa's not wrong.
hard. Oh, not at all.
No,
I would never give.
They gaslighted him.
It's like, dude.
Also, now that we bring that up, there is no closure about custody there at all. And they like, there was like a 2-minute scene with him and lawyers, you know. And whatever happened about him having custody of his daughter?
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
It was all over the place.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they set up that got no payoff.
No payoff.
I think my favorite line is still, he's little potatoes. I'm big potatoes.
That is a funny
That's
line.
really
That
good.
line is crazy.
I actually genuinely think that's an awesome line.
no, absolutely, yeah.
It really stood out to me. I was
100%.
like, oh, that was great.
I want to point something out that I notice in films sometimes, and I feel like in this particular application, I think David Ayers was flipping us off as an audience when the girl that was quote unquote human trafficked just like flips off the whole room after they're like escaping, right? But to me, I see that as like a big fuck you to the audience.
Interesting.
It's just like, fuck you guys, you pig slops just paid money to go see this stupid film.
I highly encourage you to listen to his interview, David Ayer.
Okay.
David Ayer he went on Jonathan Bernthal's podcast, and just listen to it.
Okay.
And you might have a different perspective on where he's coming from, because it does seem like he has been like thrown through the ringer in Hollywood.
Interesting.
Like he has been like just disrespected and having his vision taken away from him.
Yeah.
So
I mean, context is definitely important.
Yeah, and that interview, that's why when I hear anything new coming out from David Ayer, I'm always a little curious, because he was from what his interview was with Jonathan Bernthal is like he was really taken advantage of and fucked over.
Well, let's contextualize that. Do you think maybe the girl flipping off?
Yeah,
she's flipping off the studios.
I think it might be the studios,
production company, producers.
And
whatever,
he did mention like in that interview, like, oh, you got to make like 2 for them, 1 for you, like films. Like you get to make a couple for the studio, and then they'll give you budget to make the film you want to make. And I don't know. I'm outside of all of it.
I mean,
I really hope this was a for them one then.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. Like,
Beekeeper, he phoned it in and flipped him off at the end. He did of vibe.
Beekeeper, and now A Working Man.
Well,
the next
Suicide Squad was before Beekeeper, right?
It was, yes, but that's why you should listen to that.
Okay. Yeah.
Apparently, there is an Ayer cut, a David Ayer cut of that film that is his project, and the studio took away the final cut of the film from him.
You think we'll ever see that?
A bunch of needle drops. I don't know if we become friends with David Ayer, maybe we will. All right. I don't know if he'll like us after this.
Well,
though.
David Ayer, I take back what I said earlier. Now that I have that context,
it's interesting, man.
That makes sense. I mean, fuck, I really want you guys to see The Brutalist, because that is what that movie is about. And I mean, Brady Corbet, the movie was made with a $10 million budget. He didn't make any money from that.
Yeah.
He personally just wanted the movie to get made. And it is, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it is very much a allegory for making art.
Interesting. Very cool. Very cool.
In our day and age.
Wow.
Nice. It's, I think, a very great story, and it's something that's very real. Like that's probably why we get all this pig slop, Yeah.
The studio's feeding us pig slop.
Yep.
Well,
it's just fun to say.
People eat it up. I was on the drive here. I was like, I wonder where this got on Rotten Tomatoes, and then went to the audience reviews, and it's like there's so many 5 out of 5s. Like, I love Jasen Statham is so good. This movie, I love the action. Like, so there's a lot of people that, and no judgment. Not everybody, it's not fair to just be like, you can only like these tasteful artsy movies, but
no.
Yes,
I think what's
still
annoying,
a huge audience for this type of stuff.
What's annoying is that the people that don't really care about film, right? They're just going to see a movie like this because they want to pass the time. They want to get a little jolt of serotonin, right, from a movie. They are the ones that are driving the whole film industry right now. Their opinion is the reason why films like this get made. And that's fine. Like, I don't care. I think it's great that anybody can even make a movie and get it in theaters. And I think that's awesome. I think people should see the movies they want to see. But when that starts getting in the way of other movies that deserve to be seen in theaters, I think that is the most tragic thing about this industry.
Yeah, or when like, I mean, we can talk a little bit about Snow White coming out and bombing. Like
that is a win.
That's a huge win.
That's a win for the people,
for filmmakers, and
Yeah.
for the audience. Like,
Yeah.
it shows it. That's finally some kind of like real taking the dollars away from the studio, showing them that like, hey, this is not what we want. We don't want this.
Yeah.
This is crap.
There's been a lot of those bombs the past year or two, I feel like, especially with Marvel. I feel like every other movie they make is like, this is the lowest grossing Marvel movie ever made. It's like,
It just keeps getting lower.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
lower.
Oh no.
It's because it gets lazier and lazier. You know, everybody's tired of it. You're watching the same movie every single time you watch a Marvel movie right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have hope in the Thunderbolts movie. I hope it's good. And it's not even that I'm a big like superhero movie guy, because I'm not at all. But I do enjoy a Marvel here and there, you know. Some of them are pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of bleak, but there is hope, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we started off this year with saying movies are back, you know?
Yeah.
We were so excited.
And I still think they are.
Yeah.
Like, especially compared to last year, like the amount of movies that I'm putting on our calendar to watch, I'm like, we're starting to get an overflow where I'm like, fuck, like,
Yeah.
Gotta pick some over others.
Yeah, it's getting tough, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
awesome.
we knew what we were getting ourselves in. It's not like we went in like hoping this was going to be a
No,
bang.
yeah, no,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's good that we have an awareness of that too, and hopefully this discussion will also bring some awareness to people who might not have that awareness, because
Yeah.
you know, it's fine to have fun with these types of movies. Like, this is a great movie to watch with a group of friends and, you know, get fucked up. Like, I hope we watch this movie again and do the moon drinking game. You
I'd
know?
rather watch Death of a Unicorn fucked up with you.
No way. You guys can do that on your own time.
I'm just
Would you like better, this movie or Beekeeper?
I never saw Beekeeper.
Me either.
I liked Beekeeper way more.
Yeah.
I did hear
Oh, yeah.
like the audience reaction coming out of that movie was like, this movie is just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
that-
Beekeeper went even, it like leaned in way harder
Yeah.
into the absurdity, which made it way more fun. And like there was actual like creative stuff happening. Like the
Interesting.
working man thing was like, okay, yeah, he's a construction worker, so maybe he's using like construction tools to beat these guys up. Like the beekeeper, he like uses his like beekeeping stuff
That's
to
sick.
his advantage as weapons, you know, like there was some creativity put into it. And also they take it all the way up to the presidency, which is hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's so funny, dude. Like that's how high up it
That's
goes.
how it should be.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like and I was hoping for some like crazy thing in this one where like it just goes to some like insane level of bureaucracy. Like, that would've been
I was
awesome.
kind of expecting that a little bit with like how there was like 3 beats of bad guys saying, "You don't know who you're messing with."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
these guys are even
Yeah.
crazier than me.
And in the Beekeeper, they hit it really well until you get to the you get to that turning point where you're like, oh my god, no, they're we're going all the way to the president. Like that's hilarious.
There is a really weird one that they tried to kind of wedge in this movie that just did not land with the police, like being in on everything, and then like the police officer is like bringing the girl back to the sex trafficking house or whatever, and
So cringy,
such a
dude.
corny, cringy line. She just like looks back at her. I'm so fucking sorry.
No, that was the guy.
No,
that was the girl.
It was in the passenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
That
girl.
was the girl.
Yeah, that was the
The
girl.
lady cop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. And the title of the movie is A Working Man, and they barely touched on the intro, and then that's the reason he knows the girl, the kidnapped girl,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Then he's just a military.
And he used
man.
his work truck for like half
Yeah.
the movie. And then they
Yeah.
kind of just ditch that. It's just like just
It wasn't even half the movie. He has his blue F-150, and then he just all of a sudden has a rental truck now.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Dodge.
He has the
yeah.
rental Ram at some point.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, they bring it up. He's like, we checked
Later,
we checked your plates. You got a rental.
Yeah.
I want to shout out another film because to your point of how egregious the like whole sex trafficking thing is in this movie. A little movie called You Were Never Really Here with Joaquin Phoenix, directed by one of the most incredible women filmmakers of our time, Lynn Ramsey. And it is about a veteran with PTSD recovering a senator's daughter who's been sex trafficked.
Whoa.
And dives into some crazy conspiratorial, things.
Sounds
And
cool.
It is awesome. Like that is tonally what a movie handling this type of subject matter should be, It's not funny in any way, and it is such a cutthroat. Like it is a direct response to a movie like A Working Man, where like the violence isn't gratifying in any way. Super awesome. Highly recommend that movie.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's how I feel like that has to be handled. This type of,
yeah,
you can't. It can't be light. Like it can't be like, oh, no big deal. Like Jason Statham will just kill them all. Like I don't know. Just feels.
It also has an incredible score from Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead.
Sick.
Super fucking badass.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very sick.
Yeah. I think once we see bad films like this, we have to give the people a good one to watch instead.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially pig slop like this.
Pig slop.
I just had to wedge another one.
Yeah.
It was. That's what I was thinking the whole movie.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so bad.
Just fucking
It's so
snarfing
bad
up
that
the
it's
slop.
good. Like,
Yeah.
that it's fun at least.
Yeah, I was happy that it was fun.
Oh yeah.
But there was some points where I was like, all right,
yeah.
let's be figuring something out. Let's
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just
I
a
do
whole
want
lot
to
of
see the beat.
stuff
there was some
happening.
there was some lingering. It felt like I was just like,
Mhm.
come
so
on,
much lingering.
let's go. Let's
Yeah.
get there.
That this movie should have been paced so much like I said, 45 minutes faster. Like
Oh, yeah.
we don't need that. If you cut out the aerial city shots, it probably would have been close.
Yeah.
Dude, cut out the aerial city shots and like 20 minutes of him buying meth. Just reduce that to a 10-minute sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
A quick, fast-paced montage of buying meth would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not him going through it, dragging on.
He bought meth twice.
To throw it right away.
Yeah.
Like,
Once
they
in
had
the
to
leg,
make sure you-
once down the toilet.
Such a good guy.
And it was blue meth, like from Breaking Bad. Like that's very obviously
yeah.
a Breaking Bad thing that has never existed in media before Breaking Bad.
Maybe it's in the Breaking Bad world.
Hey, it's okay to pull
It
things
could
from other
be.
forms of media.
Yeah,
I
it's just
guess.
like so
It's just weird that it
cringy.
was like, let me get the blue meth, like
Yeah.
the Heisenberg special, please. Just kind of
Dude, that'd be a wild reveal. Just Walter White just fucking comes out.
That would have been sick. That would have made the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Well, any closing thoughts?
No. If David Ayer has a new film coming out and it's one for him, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the one for him. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Looking at his IMDb, I feel like the last one that was for him was End of Watch.
Probably. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can follow us on Instagram at Boys Meet Film. You can follow me on Letterboxd at mschnee. You can follow this guy on Letterboxd at
Maximus Newhan.
and
I got a
you
letterbox.
can follow this guy on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Chill ass Will.
Chill ass
My
Will.
favorite handle ever. So
Thanks.
That's
awesome.
really good. What are we
And
watching next
He
week?
has great reviews. We are gonna watch Inherent Vice. We're gonna combine our special 420 episode with a Paul Thomas Anderson episode and watch a crazy stoner cop movie.
Cool.
Inherent
Whoa.
Vice. Yeah.
Are we gonna also be stoned?
Who knows?
I'm just kidding.
Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, tune in, ring the bell on YouTube if you like our stuff, and subscribe. Bye.